The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Welcome in to an all-new edition of the Belly Up Sports Fantasy Live Baseball Show, and we are taking a major turn in the fantasy baseball season right now, as everyone should be entering in or continuing their fantasy playoffs this week. And so we are going to make sure you are ready for your fantasy playoff matchups. And of course, as we've been here from day one of the season, actually almost day one of the year, all the way through off season, preseason, spring training, all that good stuff to right now. And so we're excited to discuss it with you. I'm Vince Stover. I'm joined, as I am every single week of the fantasy baseball season, by the senior writer at bellyupsports.com, Kevin Wilson. Kevin, welcome back, my friend. And can you believe we're actually at the fantasy playoffs already?
It's amazing. Like you said, we discussed all kinds of topics, and it all comes down to this now, where you either win or you go home, and I'm very excited. And just as we discussed in our league, there's going to be ties that computers going to have to break to see who goes into the playoffs or not. And so it's very exciting time. And I'm just looking forward to this right here. I know it's football season and everything else, but baseball, I'm focused.
Yeah, so we're thinking about fantasy baseball playoffs. I'm in 5 leagues this year. 4 of the 5, I'm going to be in the playoffs. 1, we're already a week into the playoffs. You had the bye in that league, but it looks like you and I are headed for a heads-up matchup after week 1.
I believe it happens every year, does it not?
It seems like it.
Somehow.
That one was a 6-team playoff. Our league that we're due for the show here is a 4-team playoff. And so, yeah, the 6-team, you got the bye. You were the 1 seed. I was the 4 seed in that one. So we'll face up this week in that one. The other leagues, I range from the 1 seed to the 6 seed, I think, in the other leagues. So lots of versatility going into this playoff week. And I've had to kind of pay attention this week. I get the one league that I'm not making the playoffs in. I haven't been aggressive with my moves. I've made sure I had people in the lineup and starting pitchers were pitching and all that good stuff. I wasn't going out and just going crazy on the waiver wire. But the other leagues, I was in a battle in a couple of them, one to make sure either I improved my seating or whatever it may be. And so pretty active. And this week we'll all be all in, because now we are in the playoffs in every single league. And, I want to win them, and usually the people listening want to win them too. So that's what we're here to do, is to help people win.
And we certainly know that, because we talk, and then all of a sudden there's movement on the waiver wire. So we know people in our league are watching. We sure appreciate that, especially, your dad will be listening. I know that. Yeah. So, Dale, looking forward to it.
Well, we got to be nice, because last week I was mean to Dad on the show, and I got a call and was reminded I need to honor my father. So everything is good today, Dad. Don't worry, nothing mean coming your way today. You're the 2 seed. Me and Dad are matching up in a league. It looks like. So we'll be playing in this league, in our Belly Up League. Me and Dad will be playing against each other this week. So Dad, take it easy on your boy this week, as for content, I need to be in the championship. So let's make sure we make that happen. Okay.
Sure he's not listening to that, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably not. All right. Today we are talking about regular season fantasy baseball awards. We're going to talk about the Major League Baseball playoff race, and we've got your additions and subtractions from your roster for this week 1 matchup of the playoffs, all coming to you in this episode. Let's get things started with the segment we call the Fantasy Burner. Fantasy Burner is presented by Belly Up Sports. 2 ways to consume content from Belly Up Sports. Number 1 is written content on the website, bellyupsports.com. Right now, college football, NFL football are the major things that are being covered on the website. There is a few other things jumping out there too, with some baseball, especially with the playoffs coming up in about a month. There's some baseball content, still plenty of baseball content going out over there. Lots of fantasy football content going on as the week 1 in the NFL starts on Thursday. So a lot of things happening on the website right now. Check it out, bellyupsports.com. Secondly is on YouTube, the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel. And we have 12 programs that are dropping their episodes on the YouTube channel right now. All kinds of great content, very heavy football presence right now on the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel. So make sure you go check that out. And I just want to plug too, we just started a new series called Belly Up Sports Mic Check. And we're interviewing content creators from around the Belly Up Sports world. This week, the episode that dropped today was with Nathan Nguyen. And I'll tell you, we've done 3 of these so far and absolutely loved talking with Nate this past week, getting it recorded and out for the masses to see. Nate's been in our fantasy baseball league and has improved every single year. He's younger than me and Kevin by a good amount. But he has a great show, 3rd and 10 podcast.
Yeah.
His co-host Brian is on with us on Tuesday nights for fantasy football. And Nate's just a wonderful guy. And I encourage you to go out and check out his stuff. But check out that Belly Up Sports Mic Check. That's only available on the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel. And about an hour-long conversation with Nate. He's been through some tough physical trials, and we talk a lot about that. We talk about sports a lot of. He's got a broad sports range as far as his fandom goes. But why he has those fans, why he's a fan of those teams, is intriguing too. We even debate a little bit LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant. That was a lot of fun. That was not in my notes to talk about, and we got on the conversation too. So it's all on Belly Up Sports YouTube channel. Please go check that out. Okay, now to fantasy baseball again. Sorry, I got a little off track there.
Okay, no worries.
But I'm telling you, Kevin, it was a great interview with Nate. Great dude. Okay, regular season fantasy baseball awards. And what we're doing, we got 5 awards to hand out today. These are the most prestigious fantasy baseball awards out there. Everyone tunes into this program just to hear what me and Kevin have to say about it.
That's right.
We have the MVPs of both batter, starting pitcher, and relief pitcher. And then we've got most improved and most disappointing this season. So let's start off on a more of a positive note. So let's go to the MVP. Let's talk batters first.
Okay.
And I'm intrigued to see, Kevin, which direction you went with this. So let's go with batter. Best batter, MVP batter of the fantasy baseball regular season.
Well, I kind of went back and forth on this, but to me, it all comes down to value, and that person is Cal Raleigh of the Seattle Mariners.
Nice.
Okay, and I know you drafted him at 111. You got him at 11, and in the 11th round, and for that you got rewarded with 50 homers, over 100 RBIs. The dude's stealing bases. He's in the lineup every day, even though he's a catcher. And this is a debate that's going to continue into the real world about who's the MVP. Is it him or is there a Judge? I'm going to go with Cal Raleigh, because of the value he provides. Because if you were not in the top 5 or 3, maybe you weren't getting Aaron Judge,
right?
But you could get Cal Raleigh, and you did way later. So the value is off the charts for me for him, and so that's why I went there.
Kevin, I'm really proud of you, man. I like that one a lot. Number 7 overall in points this season as it sits tonight as well. And yeah, you're right. And, Brent Radlinski is the one that got him in our league, but everyone was drafting him around that same relative area. Like you said, he went 111 in our league this season. And what a steal. What an absolute steal for sure. I went a little bit more chalk with this one. I ended up going Aaron Judge for my award. But like I said, I really like your choice of Cal Raleigh as well. I would lean that direction with you, I suppose. But Judge, the one thing I always look at with the studs, with the guys that going into the year are going to be top notch, is can they stay healthy and can they consistently perform? There are guys that have been up and down a little bit. Overall, they've got their points up there, but it's been a rough go. You may have lost a week because the stud wasn't stud that week. He was dud that week, those kinds of things. I thought Aaron Judge, now we've got a couple of years of just so much consistency from him that when you take him number 1, number 2, number 3, wherever you get him at, he doesn't fail you. And we've had other guys that have failed us. Mookie Betts, not perfect, not horrible, whatever. Bobby Witt Jr., again, for where you drafted him at, wanting out of him.
I'm well aware because I drafted him, so I know what you're talking about.
Ohtani is always a consideration here as well, but for me, it was Aaron Judge. I just thought what he was able to do, the consistency, just the safety in drafting Aaron Judge and not having to worry about him all season has been really, really nice. So Aaron Judge is for me. Cal Raleigh is for you, and I think both of them are well deserving. Schwarber, he had the 4 home runs this last week, which, by the way, Kevin, I heard someone about your MVP ballot that came out, not your MVP. Yeah, your MVP for this week that is out on YouTube right now, YouTube Shorts. He said Schwarber hit 4 home runs in a game. How did he not give him the MVP? It's one game.
One game is that?
Awesome
I believe that's what I said when I was talking about this. That if you take in the whole week,
yeah.
Unfortunately for him, because he
didn't
do
the same
much else
thing
besides that one game.
I do the same thing with the whole season. He had 29 points in that game that he hit 4 home runs. So if you take that down just to an average, he drops down in the points. He's still a top 5 guy this season, which is fine and dandy. But Schwarber, Juan Soto, all considerations. But I like Raleigh and Judge personally. I'm happy with those selections. All right, let's go to pitcher now, Kevin. To me, this is. Well, let me hear what you say first, I guess. Your MVP for starting pitcher.
Okay, so my MVP at the when we talked about at the All-Star game was Garrett Crochet.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stay the course with him because he has been extremely consistent. He was the 27th overall pick, and he gave you 562 points. Scoble was just 8 points better than him, and you had to take him earlier than that. And when you look at all of his stats, 14-5, 2.40, 1.06 whip, 214 strikeouts, he's got it all going on. And he's one of the main reasons why Boston was able to weather all that with the Rafael Devers and the whole drama, everything that was going on up in Boston. And he's kept them on track. And so it came down to Garrett or Tariq. So I went with Garrett because I think that he just maintained a little better consistency and the value was better for him. So I stayed the course with him.
Okay. I went with Tariq Skubal. I thought it was without question, but you make good points, so I'll give you that. 12-4 on the season so far, 216 strikeouts, 2.18 ERA, a 0.87 whip, 596 fantasy points, leading all pitchers not named Ohtani, and Ohtani didn't score. Well, no, he's leading Ohtani too, but Ohtani wasn't pitching, right. Obviously as well. So at the end of the day, I can't argue with you on Crochet. Great year for him. Again, to be able to do it 2 years in a row on a different team this year and carry Boston to where they are currently. Yeah, I can't argue with that at all. I think Nick Pivetta is someone to consider as well when you're talking about value and things of that nature. Paul Skeens, of course, had another good season. But I think Skubal and Crochet are clearly the top 2 pitchers this year. I think Skubal I'm blown away by what he's been doing last year, this year, and just incredible stuff along the way for him. Averaging almost 2 full points higher than Crochet per game as well. So they were the only 2, by the way, Crochet and Skubal, the only 2 guys averaging 20-plus points per start. So that's pretty impressive stuff, if you ask me. And you didn't, but I'm telling you anyways. So There you go. All right. Let's go to relief pitcher now. Okay. And I'm intrigued on this one too, Kevin, because I'm not sure if we're going to line up on this one. How do you feel about relief pitchers?
Okay, so the relief pitcher, this was a very close race. And I'm going to tell you the 2 guys that I'm considering.
Okay.
One of them is Robert Suarez of the San Diego Padres.
Sure.
And the other one is Carlos Estevez of the Kansas City Royals.
Okay.
And when you look at these guys, they've got almost the exact same stats. Both have 4 wins. One has 35. They both have 35 saves. Carlos Estevez's ERA is better. His whip is not as good. He's got 50 strikeouts, and Suarez has 59 strikeouts. And where Carlos Estevez wins this is you could have got him off the waiver wire, and a lot of people did. So the value is sky high for him. And when you look at Suarez had the best bullpen in front of him, so that helped him out a lot. So I went with Carlos Estevez here as the best relief pitcher.
All right. So we do disagree on this, and here's why. I'm with Robert Suarez. I actually have 2 guys here. One is a closer, legit closer, and the other is a setup guy. So Robert Suarez is my closer. He leads the league in saves. Fantasy-wise, he averages about 0.3 more points a game than Estevez, although I looked at Estevez too. Very, very good season there. You're right. Their numbers so stinking similar. Estevez a few more innings than Suarez has done, but their walk numbers are similar. The strikeouts are similar. Suarez is a little bit better. Wins are the same. Losses are the same. Saves, Estevez has 1 more. Blown saves, Estevez has 1 more of those also. But really, really solid season for both guys. I like Estevez too. I think that overall the Royals were disappointing. Estevez was not. So I think that leans that way too. But what Suarez was ever to do this year, and what a team that we had questions about as a whole, they had a few pitchers really step up this season, and Suarez was one of them. So I liked him as my closer, but I just can't ignore Abner Uribe, who was suspended to start the season, and he ends the season as the highest scoring relief pitcher in fantasy baseball, and that's even over the guys who have starter and relief pitcher eligibility. Abner Uribe, who's been an 8th-inning guy since he came off his suspension. He's currently the closer with McGill being injured in Milwaukee. Abner Uribe has come in. He has outscored the second-place person by 13 fantasy points. And what he's been able to do, striking guys out, 65.1 innings, 79 strikeouts. He's got 2 wins, 1 loss, 4 saves, 2 blown saves, and 35 holds on the season. And that's, again, starting the season suspended. So having to miss basically the first month of the season and come on and just be what he's been, an absolute beast in the fantasy world. Now, if your league doesn't do holds, then a guy like Uribe is going to get you nothing in your fantasy league. So that's why I wanted to separate it out a little bit. But my goodness, Suarez, Estevez, Uribe, all of them have had great fantasy seasons. If they've been on your team, they've given you consistency, and they've probably helped you get over the top in some matchups as well. So I like all those, Kevin. I can't argue with anything there. All right, let's go to most improved next. And there, you've already mentioned one guy I think that would be worthy of this, in Cal Raleigh. But I'm intrigued to see which direction you go with this one. So most improved player, who do you have?
Okay, so I have, believe it or not, 2 shortstops battling it out for this position. One of them is Bo Bichette of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Okay.
And the other one is Geraldo Perdomo of Arizona. And if you remember, Geraldo Perdomo was my shortstop nominee for best at the All-Star break. And Bichette was coming. He only didn't play too many games last year because he was hurt and everything else. So he improved. And there were a lot of questions about whether this guy could be in the lineup or not. And he's got the hits and everything else. But where Perdomo, he's played 135 games and 266. He has 143 hits, 84 runs, 15 homers, 57 RBIs. He could have been a free agent, waiver wire pickup. And so when it comes to most improved, Arizona has fallen apart, but it's not Geraldo Perdomo's fault at all. He's maintained his. A lot of people fall off after the All-Star break.
Right.
He did not. So he maintains my edge as far as the most improved player.
Yeah, I like those. Bo Bichette was one of my best value shortstops back in the preseason when we were talking about drafts and rankings. I thought Bichette could have a good season this year, and maybe even I'll open some doors for a future with another team later on as well. And of course, Toronto's been really, really good. And then Perdomo is a guy that I had ranked number 11, and I was my 9, 10, 11 shortstop rankings were between CJ Abrams, Jeremy Pena, and Perdomo. And I ended up going Abrams 9, Pena 10. Well, Perdomo ends the year as the number 1 overall scoring shortstop in the league. And he's number 5 overall and fantasy points in the league as well. So I've got Geraldo Perdomo as well. What he's been able to do where he has literally boosted his fantasy stock from a waiver wire ad to first round draft pick next season. Like, it has been nuts, the rise that he has had this year. There was always moments. He's been a waiver wire guy now for a couple of years. And there's been, he's had hot moments and cold moments, and you pick him up and you drop him, whatever. This year, he established himself as the up and coming, shortstop to pay attention to. When you got a league that has Ellie De La Cruz and Gunnar Henderson as young guys, you're looking at Gerardo Perdomo and saying next season, when it comes to fantasy drafts, it's going to be a discussion. Do you take him above Bobby Witt? Do you take him above Gunnar Henderson? I'd say yes to Henderson. Witt, we'll have a discussion about that later, another time. Right. But what he's been able to do is absolutely crazy. I think he is undoubtedly the most improved fantasy baseball player there is this season. Incredible season for him, for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go ahead.
Let me just say on him because he was number 1 at the shortstop position at the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Number 1. Today, he's still number 1.
Yeah.
So you talk about maintaining your status throughout an entire season. No one has done it better than he has.
He's 37 points higher than Bobby Witt Jr. at second. He is 49 points higher than Lindor, who's third in the shortstop rankings right now. And it just goes on from there. So, yeah, nuts. Absolutely incredible season. He helped people win some matchups this season.
Absolutely, he did.
About it. Okay, most disappointing. I think we're going to be unanimous on the guy. I've got several guys to discuss, though. So I'm going to let you go first on this. I'm assuming we're going to say the same person here.
I think that we will.
Winning.
Okay, so I had to make a special mention. I talked about him in my article the other day, and that's Profar, who wound up being suspended for 80 games. And that there was a lot of things that doomed Atlanta, but that certainly did not help. And so anytime you can get suspended for 80 games, that's for what he got suspended for. So that makes you garbage, okay? So, but the most disappointing to me has to be Aaron Nola of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Oh, I did not think we were going here. Okay.
All right. Usually I don't go here to players that have been injured.
Yeah.
Because it's not their fault. But he was garbage before he got injured. He came back. He pitched a little better his last time out, but it's still garbage. And this is the guy, we talked about him earlier. I had him as staff ace, 1B. Zach Wheeler, of course, was 1A. This dude was 1B, but he has absolutely crash landed. And Philadelphia has survived without him. And so when it comes to disappointments, this dude, and I drafted him relatively high. And so that did not help my fantasy team at all. And so when it comes to disappointing players, he is number 1 to me.
I did not realize you drafted him 45th overall.
I did.
This year, and it's funny because the guy that I'm picking is somebody you drafted also.
Okay.
And but this player you drafted at, I think it was 34. Let me see, it may have been 36th overall. So you drafted him the round before you drafted Aaron Nola. Can I just say, what a rough couple of rounds for you, Kevin, this season. But we're talking about how close it is to get into the playoffs right now. These two draft picks, they're it. They're your reason for being so close. You go with Aaron Nola 45th, but at 36th overall, Kevin, you selected outfielder, designated hitter from the Toronto Blue Jays, Anthony Santander. And Anthony Santander ends the season with 51 fantasy points. 6 home runs, batting 179, 14 runs, 18 RBIs. Aaron Nola, yes, very disappointing. Injuries, bad pitching, all that kind of stuff. But Anthony Santander, I will say this. We and most of the fantasy professional world were wrong on Anthony Santander.
Absolutely wrong. Me chief among them. There were some people that was questioning whether going to Toronto was a good thing for him.
Right.
I thought it was because it's a better hitting ballpark. But didn't matter where he was hitting, the street or where. But yeah, if I had the chance to do my award over again, it would be this one. And
Aaron Nola is still 1B, this time just in most disappointing players. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Santander, horrible season, injury obviously massive. He could be back by fantasy championship, Kevin. So we may come back to this conversation where you or I have picked him up in the fantasy championship and he's won us a championship, Right.
And I guess the reason why I went with Nola is because, like I said, he came back from injury.
Yeah.
And was still bad.
Yeah, he was.
Whereas Santander has been pretty much on the IL since May?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. So fortunately, I was able to erase him from my consciousness.
Yeah.
And, so
yikes. What a bad couple of rounds. All right, let me throw out a couple more names at you. Okay. All right. Jackson Merrill. San Diego Padres outfielder, 182 fantasy points, 9 home runs, and 1 stolen base. Not good.
Not good. And that's why San Diego made that trade, among many that they did at the trade deadline, because he was absent.
Let me look up real quick and see. Drafted 26th overall by my dad. And he gave you 182 fantasy points, 9 home runs, and a stolen base. Not good. Not good. All right. Another injury issue, but Corbin Burns. Big signing this year for Arizona. Big expectation in the fantasy world. I will go back and say I was wrong about Anthony Santander. I was wrong about Jackson Merrill. I was kind of right about Corbin Burns. I said, hey, watch out. He's getting older. His strikeout numbers are dropping. I said he'll still be good. And I don't know that he was that. Well, actually, wasn't bad. 2.66 ERA, but 3-2 record, 171 fantasy points on the year, 63 strikeouts. Like where you're drafting him. Let's see here. He was drafted number 20th overall. You got to have a lot more than that, even with the injury issues. So Corbin Burns. How about a guy we talked about nonstop in the preseason, and we were just dead wrong on, and that's Jake Berger, the Texas Rangers. Most people will say, okay, no big deal. But for us, we talked about him at first base. We talked about him at third base. We talked about him as here's your value guy, all this kind of stuff, because we thought everyday first base is going to be awesome for Jake Berger, and he killed us. Now, he got injured several times this season. He ends the year with 137 fantasy points, batting .242 with 12 home runs and 41 RBIs. Nothing at all like we expected him to be this year. We didn't expect him to be all-star, but we expected him to be a fantasy. Huge
I expected 28 to 30 home runs, and it didn't happen.
He was drafted 67th overall in our league, by the way. as well. And then the last one I have for you is catcher Adley Rushman. Everyone had him as either catcher 1 or catcher 2. He is neither of those things. Here at the end of the year, 157 fantasy points, 9 home runs, 29 RBIs, 0 stolen bases, and he hit 227. And now there's questions: are they going to keep him in Baltimore? Is he going to get traded? Because they got this other guy they just signed to
That's right. They sure did. And,
a rookie guy and all that good stuff.
If you read the article from Eric regarding him, it's pretty. He might as well go out in the back and get stoned.
Yeah,
I wouldn't go that far.
I would not. I would not go.
One bad season killed your career, there'd be a lot of years that would be DOA.
Yeah,
and so he's not going to go number 1 at catcher or 2, or who knows where he might go next year. But
rankings next year are going to be a nightmare, plain and simple, like an absolute nightmare. But yeah. So, anyways, all those really disappointing guys. I still think Santander is the worst of the bunch. But gracious. I mean, Jackson Merrill, maybe he is as bad. Yeah, his point total was higher, but the expectation was there too. It just, oh my goodness, some major disappointment this year. Needless to say.
Yeah, he went from the most last year. He was like the player that came out of nowhere.
Yes.
Right from the beginning, and then this year, crash landed back to earth. So.
Last year he was my prize.
Absolutely.
I snagged him in almost every league I was in. I was all over it because of the positional eligibility. He was going to get everyday center field, but he was also had some infield eligibility too, and it was great. And then this year, the expectation was there for everybody, and he didn't fulfill them. So tough.
There we have it.
Tough year with some guys. All right. BellyUpSports.com or YouTube Belly Up Sports channel is where you can find some of the greatest content out there right now. Make sure you check it out right there. That's the Fantasy Burner presented by Belly Up Sports. All right, let's head into segment number 2. We call it the Hot Corner. The Hot Corner is presented by Righteous Felon Jerky. Join the flavor revolution at righteousfelon.com. Use the promo code BellyUpSports. Nope. Use the promo code BellyUp. There we go. I'll get it right. Okay. Belly Up, and it gets you 15% off your purchase. All right, let's talk some playoff races going on right now. We'll start in the American League. Tigers, Blue Jays, and Astros currently in the lead in these divisions. Yankees are hot on Toronto's trail right now. And Seattle is hot on the Astros trail as well. The Tigers, they've got it pretty easy. But everybody else, it's going to be a fight to the end. Texas, 2.5 out from the wild card race. Kansas City, 3 games out. And watch out for those sneaky Guardians. Only 4 games out as well. Kevin, when you look at the American League right now, and you see some of these races kind of getting tight. 3 games, the Yankees behind the Blue Jays, and 2 games, the Mariners behind the Astros. What are you looking at here as legit concern, or still just kind of, no, it'll all be fine?
I think that it'll all be fine, because there are a lot of teams who they're really not playing well. True. And except for the Yankees, and it was really surprising because I was on the No Credentials Required show yesterday morning, and we discussed the playoff races, and they're both out on the Yankees. I was really surprised to hear that. I think that you're cutting ties just a little bit too early on that. And but I don't think that Toronto is going to lose this division. But and I think that, as we discussed before, I think the 6 teams that are in are the 6 teams that will get in at the end in both leagues. In Texas, it's surprising me because they lost Evaldi, they lost Simeon. Seegers has appendicitis, and I've had that myself, and so who knows when he'll be back. So those are major losses for them, and they went. And I'm still trying to say Oakland, okay, Sacramento, all right, and they swept them up there, but that's not really saying a whole lot. So,
I was gonna say, yeah, they're supposed to.
Just as soon as I was ready to write off Cleveland, they straightened out a little bit. And those guys that I was on with yesterday tried to talk up Cincinnati, and I told them about how you and I have discussed this, and every year. And what's interesting about them is they were the last team in all of Major League Baseball to lose 3 games in a row
Oh,
in the
wow.
season. But I know they won today, but they had lost 5 straight. And so Cincinnati, they like to tease their fans, but then it turns into mud. Okay,
Yeah.
you're trying to make it look like pudding, but it's mud. And so
Well,
I don't give a whole lot of any kind of. Well, they tried.
yeah.
Okay, but I don't see them making it in there. I see it being the Cubs, the Padres, and the Mets winning the wild cards. The Dodgers still could be chased down by the Padres, and they haven't played well. And one of my just today, 4-1, Dodgers leading, gives up a 3-run homer to tie the game. And so the bullpen has not been what it should be, but I still think the Dodgers will win that division. And your Brewers kind of came back down to earth a little, but that's okay to me because it's still a month to go.
Yeah.
And so they'll easily win that division. The Phillies have outcome Zach Wheeler's loss, and they're getting some pretty good pitching from other sources. But so I think they still win the division. The Mets have been Mets, but because unfortunately for them, they can't play the Phillies at home every game because the Phillies can't win in New York. So when I look at these divisions and Seattle, I was just about to say, what are you guys up to? But they're 2 back now. And so it's going to be interesting, but I still think Houston wins that division.
So when I'm looking at the American League, I'm looking at pitching. Today, the Yankees lost to the White Sox, but they lost 3-2. And when we talk about the Yankees, you say the problem with the Yankees is pitching. We're always going to the pitching. I mean, they allowed 5 hits, 3 runs, and they lost. They shouldn't lose if they only give up 5 hits and 3 runs. Like, the Yankees should be able to outscore that, and they've been a high-scoring team this season. They lost a game. So when I look at the Yankees, I'm not writing them off at all. As a matter of fact, I'm not even writing them off for the division yet because of their pitching continues to do well, and they brought up some guys. They've got some guys pitching well right now. Like, I'm not writing off the Yankees. That's dumb to do because they put up a monster amount of runs this year. Seattle beat Cleveland today. That's a big positive. You talked about Texas beating the Athletics. Like, you've got to win those games. You can't be like the Yankees should win the White Sox games. You got to beat when you're playing the A's, and there's so much to look at, but there are good teams losing to bad teams here a lot. Right. Cubs lost to the Rockies today, 6-5. The Miami Marlins beat the Mets today, 5-1. Like, those are the things you can't. The White Sox beat the Yankees. You can't be having that right now. And if you want to talk about Cincinnati, they won 7-4 today, but they gave up 7 hits against St. Louis, who has a game back from them, or 2 games, game and a half, I think, back from them right now in the division. Those teams are not going to be in the playoffs. Philadelphia right now up 1-0 to Atlanta. Currently, they're in the 7th inning. So those are the kind of things that I look at is, okay, when they do lose, how do they lose? The Yankees are still losing because their offense isn't showing up, not because their pitching isn't showing up. And at any moment, that dam can break. And next thing you know is they're back. They're the highest scoring team in Major League Baseball this year. So I'm not counting them out. You can bet that for sure. I agree, though. We're on the same page. I think Blue Jays, Yankees, Red Sox. I lost my stats here.
Yeah,
Tigers, Blue Jays, Astros, Yankees, Red Sox, Mariners, I think are the teams. But again, you look at pitching, Kansas City could show up all of a sudden. Texas, they won 8 of their last 2, 5 straight games. Can they catch the Mariners? Maybe. I mean, it's definitely a possibility. If I had to put money on it, I would say the 6 teams that are currently in will be the 6 teams that make it in the American League. And I'm looking up real quick to see with Texas, because they're a team that has intrigued me with the way they've played. They've had some injuries as of late. You mentioned that as well. But you got 24 games left, and they go home against the Marlins and Twins, road on the Guardians. Let's see here. Diamondbacks, Astros, Brewers, Mets, Astros again. So, I mean, they got 6 games against the Astros. What happens if they take 4 of those? Now you're talking about you're right back in it,
Right.
So I'm not counting these teams out yet. I'm just saying that if I had to put money on it, I would put money on the 6 that are currently in.
Right.
On the National League side of things, like you were talking about, yeah, Brewers, Phillies, Dodgers. Yeah, it is what it is. Could the Padres catch the Dodgers? Maybe, but both of those teams, there's not enough consistency there. Could the Mets catch the Phillies? No, I don't think so. Could the Cubs catch the Brewers? No, I don't think so. So I think that we're sitting here. The Brewers now are kind of coasting where, hey, let's just win the series. Let's win 2 out of 3. And sometimes they're successful, sometimes they're not. But at the same time, the Cubs lost to the Rockies. So, it's kind of, at the end of the day, first team to 80 wins. Still the best team in Major League Baseball.
Right. And they beat Toronto 2 out of 3 this weekend.
Yes, and they actually added some pitching this week, which is I was a little surprised by that. Eric Fetty, of all people, signed in Milwaukee too. I'm like, well, that's interesting. Talking about long relief guys and things like that. The way they've been using Aaron Ashby right now, where they bring in one of these young guys who's had a great season, and they say, hey, all we need from you is 4 really good innings, and then we're going to bring in a long reliever, and he's going to give us 3 innings, and then the back end of the bullpen will take the rest. And that's how they've been playing it, and it's been working for them. It's crazy to see what they're doing right now. So I say all that to say I'm more confident in the 6 teams in the National League than I am in the 6 teams in the American League as far as holding those spots. Cincinnati's not going to catch the Mets. The Giants aren't going to catch the Mets. The Diamondbacks, no, they're not going to catch the Mets either. So I'm looking at it going National League. The seeding may change around a little bit. The teams won't. American League, though, I'm still not ready to count out Rangers, Royals, Indians, Guardians, because of there's enough talent on those teams that all you got to do is get the right thing, win the right series, whatever it may be, and next thing you know, boom, you're in the hunt right now. So that being said, I also legit World Series people. I look at Tigers, I look at Blue Jays, Astros, Yankees. I think 4 teams in the American League that I would consider World Series possible teams. In the National League, I see 5 teams out of the 6. I don't think the Cubs are legit. I don't think there's not enough there to win the World Series this year. But I think the other teams are. I think the Mets, it just comes down to all of a sudden something clicking. And the Mets, boom, they're scary, right? Because you're talking about Juan Soto. You're talking about the Polar Bear. You're talking about these guys for Lindor, plus the pitcher. It could always happen. So that being said, we got 1 month left in the regular season of Major League Baseball. And I think it's going to be a doozy all the way down to the end, whether we're just talking about playoff seedings or we're talking about actual races to catch for the pennant, and make a play for the wild card or whatever it may be. I think it's going to be a fun final month, Kevin.
Absolutely. And the thing that always, when we're talking about the Dodgers Padres, they're done playing each other. So there can be no advantage there at all. I know the Padres, they've talked about it. I've heard it in multiple places that they've got an easy schedule. Yeah. Well, the Dodgers schedule is not that hard either.
Yeah.
And so there's a little advantage there, but it's not a lot of an advantage. And so the Padres want to win. They're going to have to figure out how to do it without beating the Dodgers head to head.
Well, and that's the same thing with the Cubs and the Brewers. They don't play again. So when you look at that and you go, okay, usually you look at the end of the season, you go, hey, they could catch them because they play. And if they win, they sweep that, and all of a sudden, boom, they're right back in it. And they don't have that either. So when you look at those kind of matchups, I'm looking right now to see Mets and Phillies do play. They play a 4-game series in Philadelphia starting in September the 8th. So that's one more to watch. That series, that
Absolutely.
4-game series is massive because of the Mets sweep it. Wild.
Yeah, Mets aren't going to go into Philadelphia and sweep. They're not doing that.
Okay, let's write it
Because
down.
it's in Philadelphia.
Yeah, but we're gonna write it down. 824.
Okay, Mets will not sweep a 4-game series against the Phillies. I'm very confident of that.
Okay, I'm just saying we're talking about a playoff visit, a win in the division. Don't count it out. Don't count it out. So there you go. Okay. All right. Any other news you want to discuss in Major League Baseball?
Well, let's see. Yordan Alvarez. We talked about the Astros. He's back. Yep. That's a huge addition for them. He hit a home run last week. Unfortunately,
Walker Buehler gets cut by the Red Sox. Signed to the Phillies for it says he's going to join the rotation in Philadelphia.
Well, I'm not sure I'm buying that, but okay. And let's see. Let's see. We talked about Kyle Schwarber and his 4 home runs. He's the 21st player ever to do that. And Shohei Ohtani got his first win of the year and struck out 9. So that's looking good. Bubba Chandler, you mentioned him last week. And he got his first win in his second game, but he didn't pitch as a starter. So that goes right into what you were saying, that he can give you points, but not have to be a starter. So there's that. And let's see, that's pretty much what I had to talk about.
Yeah. Pretty much most of the news now is all about the standings overall. Right. So if everybody can keep their betting apps turned off for the rest of the season, there won't be any major storylines to hit on there.
Hopefully not. That everybody can stay healthy the rest of the way. And And one of the things I'm interested in, I talked about it yesterday, is Mr. Paul Skeens. He's 9-9, and I predicted yesterday he'll win the Cy Young Award and have a losing record. So we'll see about that, how that works out.
Yeah, I like it. All right, that's the Hot Corner, presented by Righteous Felon Jerky. Go to righteousfelon.com, use the promo code BELLYUP. You're going to get 15% off your purchase. All right, let's head into our final segment. It is the Fantasy Focus. Fantasy Focus is presented by SeatGeek. You're going to go to a ball game. You need tickets. Where are you going to get your tickets at? Why not get them from SeatGeek? SeatGeek.com. If you use the promo code BellyUpSports, you get $20 off your purchase. All right, Kev. I've been staying pretty positive this year on the waiver wire, so I don't have any drops again this week. I know there are players to drop, but go ahead, give us the flush. Who you flushing this week?
Okay, so I'm going to stay relatively positive as well, but you have to flush Andrew Heaney if you still have him on your team for reasons unknown. He was designated for assignment, so he doesn't even have a major league job. And unfortunately, Mackenzie Gore of Washington, we all want to believe in him, but and even though he pitches tomorrow against Miami, it has come off the rails for him.
No, he's on the IL.
Oh, he's on the IL.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you could put him on your IL, I suppose you could do that. Yeah. And but last but not least, Javier Baez, Detroit All-Star. Okay. Has only played in 2 games in his last 6. So he's not even in the starting lineup. So the All-Star, shine has worn off of him. I'm sure that a lot of us are surprised by that. And because Detroit's found some better options than him. But his ownership rate is still a little too high. I guess that's because a lot of guys have given up hope.
Yeah.
But if you're still battling for the playoffs, Javier Baez, you got to go. He's got to go.
All right. Very good. Very good. All right, let's go to ads. People need to win this week. We've got players for you to pick up so that you can win your fantasy matchup. Who's your first one, Kev?
My first one, and you could accuse me of being a homer, if you want to. But Emmett Sheehan of the Los Angeles Dodgers, for reasons that really baffle me, is only at 10.8% roster. And the man is 5-2 with a 3.56 ERA and a 1.13 WHIP. He pitched at Colorado, pitched 6 innings, 7 strikeouts, 2 base on balls, 18 fantasy points. He pitched against Cincinnati, 7 innings, no runs, 2 hits, 10 strikeouts, 34 fantasy points. Tuesday, he pitches at the Pittsburgh Pirates. And so that might probably not, but it might put him in line to pitch twice. And if he doesn't pitch twice, then that means he'll go Monday the week. And so that'll line him up for 2 starts that week, the final week of that playoff series. So Emmett Sheehan's got to go to the top of the list. If he's available and at 10% rostered, he's available a lot of places. So go get him.
All right. I'm going to go with a Kevin Wilson special for my first pickup.
All right.
And here's why he's a Kevin Wilson special. Number 1, preseason rankings top 10 third baseman. Then he poo-pooed all over Kevin Wilson. All over Kevin Wilson. I mean, we're talking the nasty baby,
Absolutely. Yeah, there's no hope in cleaning it up and all that stuff. Yeah.
But Kevin Wilson said, no, I believe in Mark Vientos. As a matter of fact, when it's almost playoff time, I'm going to pick Mark Vientos back up off the waiver wire, which is exactly what Kevin Wilson did. And boy, was he right. 37.3% rostered in ESPN leagues, third base DH from the New York baseball Mets. Mark Vientos has been crushing it as of late. A great series against Atlanta, a really good series against Philadelphia, a solid series against Miami. He's back to everyday third base. He has been since August the 17th. And now as we turn the calendar page over to September, the most important time for fantasy baseball, Mark Vientos is once again a valuable third baseman for your fantasy team. Kevin Wilson knew it all along. He stuck it out. Well, he didn't stick it out. He got rid of him, but he eventually brought him back up. He eventually claimed him again. And just like that, Mark Vientos now is helping Kevin Wilson in the playoffs. Vientos drafted 225th overall by Kevin Wilson, dropped on April the 9th, added by Kevin on April the 27th, dropped by Kevin Wilson on the next day, April 28th, and then added again to Kevin Wilson's team August the 26th, a few months later, and he'll probably stick it out the rest of the way. I got him in another league that I'm in, and I was so happy to see he was available because he has been absolutely crushing it. He's not available in every league, but he's still available in a bunch of leagues, and so make sure you go grab Mark Vientos. He's worth it for this fantasy run.
Well, you said my name about 7 times in that sentence, so you know what I did not mention him because I think that he's probably owned by people.
37%, Kevin.
That needs to be higher, no question.
Yeah.
And so I did not mention him, but I am going to go with a New York Met teammate, though.
Oh,
and that's Jeff McNeil.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Second base, outfield. He's at 12.3% rostered. In his last 12 games, he has 6 games of 2+ hits. So he's swinging the bat. Last 2 days, he has 3 hits, 12 homers, 47 RBIs, 37 runs. You got to like that second base outfield combination. So if you're in need of a second baseman, second base has been a very not the greatest position in fantasy this year. So if you need a guy, go get him.
So McNeil, I picked up in the same league I picked up Vientos in. I actually dropped McNeil since, but picked them both up this week. And I picked them up on a day where not everybody was playing and the Mets were playing, and it just worked out really well for me. So I don't hate that. I've already dropped them in that league, but I don't hate that one for sure. All right, I'll go to the mound next. And this is a guy I love. And I only knew this guy because I'm in a dynasty league where you've got the minor league and you can stash guys in the minors. But Tampa Bay Rays starting pitcher, and he's also relief pitcher eligible, Ian Seymour. And when I look at this kid, originally he got called up a while back and he was doing just relief role, but he wasn't getting holds. So I didn't have him up and in my roster in that league, didn't have him in any other league because he wasn't worth it at that point. Well, a couple of games ago, they said, hey, we're going to let this kid start now. We're finally going to let him get a shot. And we're going to let him get a shot against who? The Cleveland Guardians. And this was on August the 25th. He went 5 innings, 0 earned runs, and 8 strikeouts. He got the win and 26 fantasy points. Then he gets another start today against the Washington Nationals, and he went 5 innings, 1 earned run, 1 walk, and 8 strikeouts. He got the win again and 22 fantasy points as well. His next start is lined up for Friday against the Cleveland Guardians, who, as I mentioned, he started against on the 25th, scoring 26 fantasy points. And I look at Ian Seymour and I go, okay, this guy, he's pitching in Tampa. The game against Cleveland will be at home, which I don't love, but he has been pitching just lights out. His 2 starts that he's had, both became wins. He was pitching between 2 and 3 innings out of the relief. Now he's gone 5 innings in both starts. So I love Ian Seymour. If you're looking for a guide, he's 6.3% rostered in ESPN leagues. And again, if you have the different lineups where you have to have relief pitchers in, he's qualifies. So he's also starting pitcher qualified, of course, as well. I love him. He's one of my favorite pickups right now. 3-0 on the year, 42 strikeouts, 2.97 ERA with a 1.02 whip, and he's got 106 fantasy points already. I love Ian Seymour, and I think you should too.
Okay. Like that one a lot. And so third base, we talked about it just a moment ago, and if that guy is, in fact, like on my roster, take a look at Josh Jung of the Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
Okay. At 8.1% roster. We could have mentioned him when we were talking about disappointing players.
Right.
Because he was an all-star a year ago and highly touted this year and started slow. They sent him down. They brought him back. He's been hurt, but he's not playing well. But this is what he's done. 4 straight games. 4 straight this week of 2+ hits. And in those 4 games, he has 5 RBIs and 5 runs scored. So his bat is scorching hot right now. And Vientos, we mentioned, probably may not be available. If he isn't, then switch over to Josh Jung if you need third base help and get him on your team while he's hot because, who knows how long that'll last. But ride the wave right now.
I like it. I'm going to go with another young pitcher. More people have heard of this guy. He's only 7.1% rostered in ESPN leagues. He's also starting pitcher and relief pitcher eligible. But Shane Smith from the Chicago White Sox, 4-7 on the season, 112 strikeouts, 3.81 ERA, 257 fantasy points. In his last 2 starts, he had to go up against Kansas City, where he went 7 innings, no earned runs, 3 strikeouts and 1 walk. He got the win and 28 fantasy points. Then yesterday, he goes up against the New York Yankees. He goes 6.1 innings, 2 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks. No decision in this one, but another 20 fantasy points. Thursday, he'll take the mound at Minnesota, which has not been a horribly hard place to play or team to pitch against. And Shane Smith, been dealing as of late, been dealing as of late, and a great pickup for your fantasy week going against the Twins on Thursday.
Okay, so interestingly enough, my pitcher happens to be a Minnesota Twin.
Okay.
All right. And he's got an interesting name. How about Zebby Matthews?
Oh, yeah.
All right. At 3.5% rostered. And he's 4-4 in the season. That's not important. His last game out, he pitched against the San Diego Padres, 6 innings, 2 runs on 7 hits, no base on balls, 18 fantasy points. And as you mentioned, Wednesday versus the Chicago White Sox. And even though they beat the Yankees today, how many runs did they score? 3. Right. So you don't have much to worry about as far as the White Sox bats. And so if you could get him on your team, and he's one of those guys, you pitch him, you stream him, and say la vie as soon as he starts, the day. And so at 3.5% roster, this guy can really get your week pretty much on track to start out.
All right. My last guy. I don't even know what I'm doing here, Kevin.
Okay, bring it.
Starting pitcher for the Colorado Rockies.
Okay.
Will be pitching at home against the San Diego Padres this week.
Okay.
Now, I know that sounds absolutely insane, but Tanner Gordon, who started off the season with a 7.98 ERA, all of a sudden has figured something out. On August the 20th, on the road against the Los Angeles Dodgers, he went quality start, 6 innings, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts with a win and 20 fantasy points. He followed that performance up on the 26th at the Houston Astros. He got quality start, 6 innings, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, and a win for 19 fantasy points. Then today, he traveled to the Chicago Cubs, and he got his 3rd straight quality start, 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, and 9 strikeouts. Originally, I looked at Tanner Gordon and I said, oh, he's going against San Diego. No, I probably shouldn't do that. Then I looked at the schedule and said, no, wait a second. I think I said some of that wrong. He was home against the Dodgers and still had 20 fantasy points. He was home against the Cubs and he still had 20 fantasy points. And he was on the road at Houston and had 19. 3 straight quality starts. He has been dynamic as of late. So even though San Diego is very good, even though they're going to be in Colorado, which is a horrible place to play a pitcher as far as fantasy goes, Tanner Gordon has been dealing, and I'm in on him. He's going to be the guy that no one else is going to pick up. The people who don't listen to this show are not going to go, hey, I need a starting pitcher on Saturday. Who should I grab? Oh, Tanner Gordon's there. No, because they're going to say he's playing San Diego, and he's playing in Colorado. But you listened here. You heard it here. We're going to get between 17 and 23 fantasy points from Tanner Gordon on Saturday, and we're going to laugh at everyone else who laughs at us when we pick him up. Tanner Gordon, Colorado, do it now before all your other league mates figure it out. But again, he's not pitching until Saturday, so keep that in mind as you make that waiver wire addition.
Okay, so if you want to beat your dad to that pick, you might want to.
Dad doesn't listen. Dad loves the show. He enjoys our conversations. He does take some of our advice, but I guarantee you when Dad listens to this, and I said I was going to be nice to Dad today, but I guarantee you when Dad listens to this, he's going to go, yeah, I hope Vince picks up Tanner Gordon. I hope he does. And he's going to laugh at me when I do it. But when I beat him, because Tanner Gordon throws up 40 fantasy points and a perfect game shutout, all that good stuff against San Diego in Colorado, he's going to have to come back and say, Vince, I'm sorry I laughed at you. I should have listened to you. And he'll be watching me go back to the championship for the 3rd straight year. 3rd straight year. 4th straight year? 4th straight year.
Oh, it's straight anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's me. I'm straight. But anyways, moving on.
Okay, so my last guy is, I'm a homer with this guy as well, but I mentioned him last week, and Clayton Kershaw. Okay, he's about 34% rostered, and he's done everything. He was going to be the pitcher of the month in August. I'm going to put that out there right now. So he's 9-2 with the 3.06 ERA. As good as you could possibly hope. Fantasy points, 22, 19, 23, 15, 23. Tuesday at the Pittsburgh Pirates. So if you're in a league and people have given up hope and they're not adding people and Clayton Kershaw is sitting there, go get him. Because that sets him up for, if he doesn't start 2 starts for this week, it sets him up for 2 starts next week. So if you're in the fantasy playoffs, either way, that will work out well for you. So Clayton Kershaw, if he's available, go get him.
I mean, he's no Tanner Gordon, but okay.
No. At least he's not Tanner Scott. Okay.
There you go. All right, Kevin. We went longer than I thought we were going to go today.
Okay. Well, we get
tell-
going, and that's what
Tell
happens.
everybody about your content. What you doing this week?
This
What
has
to
been
find.
a pretty busy weekend for me. On Friday, we talked to the Seahawks sessions over there on the BS web channel, and we talked about the Seahawks roster. We also predicted all the playoff teams in the NFL, who's going to make it, who's not, and there were some surprise teams in there. So you might want to check that out. And we discussed some food items as well. You just don't ever know for sure what you're going to get on the Seahawks Session show. But you'll find out who's going to wake the playoffs if you watch that show. Then yesterday, I was on the No Credentials Required. We discussed what we've done here about the playoffs, who do we think's going to make it, and 3 bold predictions for the end of the baseball season. And then, of course, I'm here. And also posted out there is my, we talked a little bit about it, my fantasy MVP of the fantasy baseball season is alive and new. And I have to say, the last week, I had views up the wazoo. And I appreciate all the people that are checking that out. And then on Tuesday, right before the fantasy, the real show, football starts on Thursday. We will preview that on Tuesday on our Belly Up Fantasy Live football show. We'll have some starts and sits for you, all kinds of good information. So check us out over there. And on the Belly Up website, I have my article talking about late round, and we talked about on our show last Tuesday, late round guys that have value. So check that out as well. So there's a lot going on with me.
I like it a lot, man. College football's here, of course. NFL's now here this week as well. So tons of football content. Kevin said it. Tuesday night, the Belly Up Sports Fantasy Live football show, right where you get this show on the Belly Up Fantasy Social, the Belly Up Sports socials. Afterwards, available on the Belly Up Sports YouTube channel. And you can find the podcast version as well, Belly Up Fantasy Live, both baseball and football podcasts available there. And we will get you ready for week 1, fantasy football-wise, on Tuesday with me, Kevin, and Brian Germanaro as well. Get you ready to go. Then Thursday, me and Dad sit down to talk some football as well. We will recap some of the craziness of the college football week 1, but we're mainly looking ahead. College football week 2 and the NFL week 1. We've got picks, both for college football and for the NFL, and plenty to discuss there as well. Next Sunday, the plan is for me and Kevin to be right back here talking to you about week 2 of the fantasy baseball playoffs, and we hope that you would join us for that. This has been another edition of the Belly Up Sports Fantasy Live baseball show. He's Kevin Wilson. I'm Vince Stover. We sure appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you next week. Good luck in your fantasy playoffs this week.